So on this dreary winter's day, what is Curiosity doing in the service area? Why am I not in some place that's a lot warmer? And where's Orion and Voyager? And what's going on? Well, it's a story of, man, issues, problems. RVs aren't meant to, handle the cold unless you prepare them. Well, I made a mistake, and I'm going to show you guys what I did, where I am, what's going on, and hopefully you won't make the same mistakes that I did. Stick around, let's find out what the heck is going on.
Are you even the slightest worried that I'll move on and walk right out? I'm up all night, keep pretending to save the world. I'm up all night, keep talking, yeah. Worried that I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
So we do a pretty good job of staying in the 70s, 80s, nice weather. But when the holidays come, we can't control where family lives. All right, so in Alabama, normally it's pretty nice. They're going to get a cold spell here for the next week, and this is right around Thanksgiving. So I broke out, and I don't use this very often, I broke out our freeze ban, our heated hose. And that way we can stay connected to water. The temperature's going to get down into the 20s for the next, week. All right, so I hook up one end on the hose, on the water, obviously. The other end will get plugged in right there. I got all that done, connected the hose and turned it on, plugged it in, and we're ready to face some cold temperatures. So it's just nice to have so we don't have to run off the pump. Now, when we get to cold temperatures, I do fill our tanks to 100% just in case my heated hose fails or doesn't operate according to specs. Then we've got a backup. Always need a backup. So why was I in Curiosity, our Class C? Well, I was gonna watch the grandchildren for a week while Sandra and our daughter Jordan had their nice little Bougeot getaway, because this is so much nicer for me to stay in when I'm watching the grandchildren than like sleeping on the couch or a sleeper sofa while I'm doing my PACA or grandfather duties. But as I discovered, there were issues awaiting me as I tried to bring Curiosity back to life after almost a year. So I need water. It's going to get cold. I am going to turn on the water pump. Well, when I did that, lo and behold, I started seeing water coming all the way down here, and it was leaking out of the side right there. So I went and replaced that with a brass fitting and a PEX, but this is still seeping just a little bit. I'm going to get fittings that actually fit it. That's brass into PVC, and sometimes there is an issue. But once I got that fixed, of course I had to turn off the water pump, and we had other leaks down by the fridge. Well, discovered that was in behind there was the actual ice maker connection, the valve, and it was leaking. So got to get a new one for that. Turn on the water pump again. Lo and behold, we had another leak. Now that was underneath here, and that was based on the water heater that had gotten replaced. Oh, yeah. So when all that other stuff was going on, and another leak that I had was coming from the low water. This had actually popped off and water was spewing out of here. So I removed this cover and placed seated that in there and screwed it in. It's got a screw on there that actually seats it in as a compression fitting, and screwed this back in, and so this one now works, and I got that leak fixed. Yeah, so I turned on the water pump again and I heard more water coming out. Well, it was coming from the water here. Now this is an on-demand. Well, what I didn't realize when I did not winterize properly is that there's a little copper joint back there. It's an elbow, and that thing just exploded. Didn't get all the water out, and it froze up, and we had 20s at night. We were in the teens actually, and water was just, I mean, it was pouring out of here. Yeah. So had to replace come on! So I had to replace this with a brand new unit because that's really not fixable. Plus there might have been some micro cracks throughout the system, and we might have been battling that for another year. So we're just like, no, we're going to replace the whole unit. The correct way, I think, to do the system, to winterize it, is to hook up to city water connection, have a consistent 60 or so PSI air compressor, and blow that thing out, turn on all the valves everywhere, and just make sure that there is no more water coming out. That's what I did not do the first time. My air compressor was 100 PSI, but it cycled. It did not have the capacity. Need a little more capacity to keep that constant pressure on there. I opened up all the valves. I did forget the water filter canister. I did not get all the water out of there. It cracked. So that was the first crack that we had to replace with a new one. And then from then on, it was just following one leak after another. Oh man. Finally got them. There's one more that's probably seeping just a little bit. But man, underneath the sink and behind the fridge, and it was literally, I mean, water was pouring out of here because that was from the ice maker valve that was in the back. So it was, it was like a comedy of errors. I learned a lot. I learned what not to do, and yeah. RVs are not meant to be in really cold weather. They're meant to be in warm weather, like me. So you gotta winterize them properly if they're not going anywhere. Curiosity, our Class C, was in for service. Had nothing to do with the leaks. It was actually just some recalls that had occurred over the year, and we were traveling, so we didn't have a chance to take it in, and in for its annual service. So we took it in there, they did a great job, got it all done, got all the recalls, it was all software, got those all taken care of. So now we're here at a storage facility. We're not going to keep it at our daughter's because of everything going on, the possibility of them moving. We don't know when that will occur. So we just decided, it's just simpler, just put it at a nice, safe, secure storage facility, and that way she doesn't have to worry about it and we don't have to worry about it when we are at some place that's nice and warm. So where is Orion and Voyager? Well, they're at our daughter's place, all tucked away in the driveway, and that's where we're going to be for the holidays. All right, so that's the story of a sad little affair with winter and severe cold and not winterizing properly. No shortcuts when you're winterizing an RV, because let me tell you, water finds a way, it's everywhere, and the cold is unrelenting. So I learned a lesson, no shortcuts, and from now on I'm either going to get a professional to do it or I'm going to get a different air compressor and really blow it out. So there you go. That's the whole scoop. We are going to put Curiosity to bed. We're not going to use our Class C for a while. We've got some other things that are going on, and we've got some other changes that are happening too. So thanks for following along. Thanks for joining us on this sordid little journey on the winter and cold. And we hope you guys are having a great holiday season so far. And we will definitely see you next week. Thanks.
Anytime, any place, you stand beside me and wait. I sing hallelujah.
Yeah, beeswax, locally sourced beeswax. You realize that until you purchase this is none of your beeswax. You realize that if I drop this on your foot, I could be charged with battery? That cattle truck was kind of rank. It was a major smell. 24/7, baby!
Warm Springs Indian Reservation.
You know, there was something about this route. I think I've got some reservations about this route.
Anytime, any place, you stand beside me and wait. I sing